Mr. Hartgrave here, ready to break some NDA and bring you the latest characters coming to Marvel Strike Force. Except I don't have an NDA. I'm not an envoy. And nor is my guest. I have BOILON with me here today. He likes my intro. And we're going to talk about some representation. That's right. I tricked you bastards into watching a pro LGBTQ video for Pride Month. You motherfuckers.
Uh-oh.
So we are going to talk about the gayest and queerest characters that we possibly can, the ones we want in the game, the ones that would be most interesting to us. So let's get right into it here. This is what you came here for, I think. And this is going to be my pick is I got one, and then BOILON has one. We both have two. My first one, Satana. You already saw it in the thumbnail. I know you pervy bastards want Satana in the game. Who doesn't? Satana, I have to admit, like, as far as LGBTQ characters go, does someone who will like fuck anybody count as that? Does that? How does that work? That's okay, right?
She's so attractive that, anyone will get with her.
Right? She doesn't discriminate. It's all over the place. But more than that, okay, so I don't like Satana for that. I mean, it's great, but I like the door this would open. I think it's a cool character. She was in the Marvel Avengers Alliance game that came before Marvel Strike Force, which is very much like it. So much that they probably did rip off a lot of stuff from it. Rip off this. Bring Satana, bring her brother Damian. So many cool characters. You see Ghost Rider here is in this photo right behind her. You got Ghost Rider there. You could bring in Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider. I mean, there's no rules when it comes to Marvel Strike Force. Like, they don't give a shit how these teams work in the comics. Just bring in a bunch of these awesome demonic characters, and I'm a happy person. The minute they announce Satana, I'm just going to get so excited for everything that means. The animations are going to be amazing. It's just going to be a team that I would be super, super excited. One thing I found out about this that I didn't know is they actually made a TV show on Satana and her brother. Did you ever see that thing?
I was just looking at that on your screen. Like, I don't know what that is. Have you heard of it?
I never. I just heard about it doing research for this, and now I got to go check it. I hear it's awful. The internet says it sucks, but I got to find out now.
When was it? Maybe you should click on the link.
It was recent. It was recent, actually.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I think it was like 2020. It came out in 2020.
Wow.
So yeah, super recent, but yeah, it was super underwhelming. The coolest thing about the show that I saw when I was checking it out here is that Brad Dourif's daughter voices the demon, a demon in it, which is, if you know Brad Dourif, he voices Chucky. So it's very cool that they got his daughter to voice a demon in this. That's pretty cool. That's like cool enough for me to want to check it out, at least a few episodes, to see what's going on with it. All
Apparently
right.
It was filmed here where I live, because if you scroll down slightly there,
Nice.
actually said I saw Vancouver production location. Scroll up a little bit.
Go.
Vancouver.
All right.
A little bit. Production
You gotta
location
love
Vancouver. So it was filmed here in my city, and I didn't even know it was a thing. So yeah, I don't know.
Filmed right there. Well, now I got all the more reason to see it. I want to see where BOILON lives. Let's go check out Hailstrom, everybody. All right, I've talked long enough. BOILON, tell us about who you want in the game.
Well, we're going to be talking about Hercules. So this is interesting.
I feel like this has a lot in common with Satana. This is the same kind of situation.
He's got a very long history. I mean, I don't know he's a very old character. I'm not going to say I know everything about his origins, but some of his first sort of affiliations, I guess, were with the Avengers. I believe he was. Did you ever watch the Avengers '90s cartoon? I believe he was in the background. Like, maybe he wasn't in the actual show, but like he was kind of. I don't know if he was a founding member actually of the Avengers, but he may have been alongside Captain America and some of the other characters. I know he was a very early addition to the Avengers roster, like back in the. Do they call it the Silver Age? I don't know, the Silver Golden Age. Back then. And so that was a really big thing. And then later on, he started getting, more recently anyways, like more modern appearances. He's actually a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is really, really cool as well. So he's a current member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So he's kind of been all over the place. So in terms of where I might want to see him included in the game, I mean, it could be either They could do an Avengers with Hercules. They could do a Guardians rework with Hercules. I think it could be interesting to see with the Thor 4 movie coming up. Is he going to make a cameo Easter egg appearance in this at all? Because I don't think this is a spoiler anymore. You should go watch trailers. But they head to Olympus in that
Yeah,
movie,
yeah.
and Zeus is in that movie. So I
You
don't know
could
if
run
there's going to
into
be a
Hercules.
crossover
Yeah.
here with him. And as far as what he would be, Brawler most likely I think would make sense. I didn't play Avengers Alliance, so I don't know if he was in that actually, as far
Hmm.
as a character kit.
Oh yeah, he was in a he
Oh,
was
okay.
pretty meta in Avengers Alliance, from what I recall, at least when he came out.
I think of Brawler, and that would be really awesome. I don't really care about the team. I think he'd be really cool in the game. And actually, to top it all off, we already have his unique in the game. We have Olympus Extract
There you
in
go.
the game, in the data files. Actually, we got it in one of the milestones from last year. I believe it was Thanos Giving that we were actually given 3 or 4
Yep.
augmented Olympus
I
Extract,
think it was
and they never
12.
said anything about it.
I think it was 12, and at the time
Oh
they
wow,
confirmed that
okay, well,
it was not a mistake. They said it was
still
not
be
a
sitting in
mistake.
our inventory.
Yeah, it's still in our inventory. You should have 12 of them if you were, here for that and kind of performing in it. And then yeah, they did confirm it was no mistake. And then they said nothing else. They were
So
like, "No, that was intentional."
So one day, they're going to bring out that unique. It could be for Hercules, and we're just going to have a head start on him, I guess. So that makes it
I
even better.
guess so, man. I guess so. All right, excellent.
That's
Yeah.
Hercules.
Hercules would be cool. I'd like to see that. All right, another one I'd like to see for a lot of the same reasons is also Dakin. Man, I feel like we in this batch of characters, go check out BOILON's channel. We did another video there that was much more, for the inclusiveness. These people are just these are just like uh what would you call them? Horny bastards? These are like the horny bastard teams.
Part of his powers is that, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
absolutely. So this picture sucks of Dakin. You may have seen him more in these forums, in other media, in other games. And I think he's made like the list of like most attractive Marvel characters, if that's a thing that people rank. But Dakin's the son of Wolverine, and opens a lot of interesting doors as far as what it could mean for teams in the game. Here's a picture of him with X-23. So yeah, that whole team, X-Force, needs a shot in the arm. Dakin could be that shot. You could have Dakin, X-23, Psylocke, who has been a part of X-Force in the comics and really is dead in this game. So I'd like to see her come back. Deadpool and Cable are kind of hanging around doing nothing as well. So yeah, bring in Dakin has got to be one of my. I know. I think a lot of people are into this character. He's like an edgier Wolverine, right? If that's possible, is this?
No, he has a really cool appearance, and actually more interesting. I don't know if you knew this, but more recently in the comics, he's actually in X. He was in X Factor,
Yep.
and he was also part of the Marauders now in the modern comics. So there's
Nice.
lots of places where you could slide him in.
So that's what he would think too. Okay, let's try to get our minds out of the gutter. Let's move over to Novar.
So yeah, some people might not necessarily be familiar with Novar. He also goes by Marvel Boy. He is from the universe of some lame number of like 200,080, but it doesn't really matter because there's tons of these Marvel universes, and he eventually made his way into the 616 universe. He is, I believe it was like he's a Kree cockroach hybrid. It's some weird thing. Yeah, I know it makes zero sense. I'm not even sure where that really came from, but there's something on there about him being like part cockroach or something like on the
That's
Marvel
so
wiki.
weird.
Yeah, but largely he is a Kree, hence the name, because you know how Krees have their name with the hyphen, very very similar like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no var, and he is in 616 anyways. He is quite buddy with the Kree. Also, he is actually was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy as well. He actually had a relationship with Hercules, which was cool too, for some inclusion there. And currently, I believe he's just some sort of galactic sort of representative. I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the Marvel universe right now in the comics. He was also part of the West Coast Avengers, very briefly, believe it or not, as well. So I have the comics somewhere behind me actually. I had the collection for that, and that was pretty
Nice.
cool. So we got to see Novar alongside like Kate Bishop. I believe that he dated Kate Bishop for a while as well. And so there was some pretty cool comics about that. And as far as his powers, I mean, honestly, a lot of these characters, a lot of these Kree characters have similar powers. You know, these captain characters, they have
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
flight and I don't know, energy manipulation and blasts and stuff. Like I'm thinking like a Captain Marvel, just not anywhere as strong as that. But the Kree characters in general, a lot of these have these sort of super strength, super, kind of powers. So it's very similar there. And yeah, if you haven't checked him out, he's a really cool character, and you'll see him a lot, like I said, more modernly in the Guardians comics or anything related to like cosmic adventures. You'll probably see him out and about. So, and I believe he was in the Secret Invasion arc. Now, I'm not super familiar with that, but I remember the Skrulls kind of came over and took over some characters, and I believe he was involved in that too. So a little bit of Marvel lore for you there. For Marvel Strike Force, though, probably going to be a cosmic blaster, most likely, or a cosmic.
Mystic.
I was gonna say brawler, but probably a cosmic blaster. We can never have enough of those, right? Because almost
More
always like.
more mystic characters.
So that's probably what it's going to be: cosmic, mystic, blaster, maybe bio. Other than that, yeah. So that's Novar. He is cool. So go check him out if you
Do,
haven't.
do you see him showing up in any of the movies or anything, or media TV shows to kind of make it more possible for us to get this character?
I mean, not. I would probably say that Hercules would probably come out sooner. But as far
Okay.
as Novar's inclusion, because of his origins, I'm not sure. They could try and squeeze it into some sort of like young Avengers aspect, because I feel like that's where they're headed in the MCU right now. That
Okay.
they're bringing in all these sort of younger
Sure.
characters to the MCU, and they might do something differently there. I
Could
don't
could
know.
sneak in. Could
So that's
sneak in.
probably what I'm thinking.
All right. Well, I'm excited about it. I hope it happens. I'm looking forward to seeing. If you want to see the rest of our picks, if you haven't already, go check out BOILON's video over on his channel. We'll put the links down below. We'll try to link these properly. And yeah, if you haven't done so here, make sure you like, subscribe, share the video, and grave diggers, keep digging. Myself, but myself keeps slipping.